Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Prize, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is my report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Ryan LaPlante as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz, Del Borovic as Morgan Rolls, and Josh Halbot as Gideon Vega. My report shows that the Inquisitorial band are battling a witch cult. Morgan destroyed an enemy transport with her dark lance. Valentyne sniped witches and bikers with Morgan's rifle. Attikus punched a witch off the bridge, and Gideon blasted witches with his psyker powers. But will he use his supercharged abilities to kill the drukhari, or find himself suffering the perils of the war? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
Where the hell are my witches? Sileus Malantura. You are in battle with a cult of witches on Comora, the drukhari city-state immaterium planet nonsense, having trapped them on a bridge, setting up an ambush point. You're in the midst of battling a witch cult who are expert pit fighters in order to prevent them from getting to the arena to fight in the name of Sileus, the shitty heir to the Cabal of the Bloodied Sand. If you can do this, you'll get your Dolmen Gate access to Mars and will be able to continue on your way. Kill some drukhari to help some drukhari. You know how it goes. Having rigged the bridge to slam into the raiders from either side, you have trapped these pit fighters on the bridge with you. Attikus is engaged in close combat. Valentyne and Morgan are providing overwatch. Valentyne with a rifle, Morgan with a dark lance. And Gideon, you have just stepped out of the control booth and unleashed a blast of psyker power upon the three unarmed witches who landed from one of the crashed raiders. Last episode we cut before we found out what happened. What happens as you unleash this psychic blast?
Gideon got 5 successes, 5 advantage.
Hell yeah. Whoa!
Big bada boom.
That is
big bada boom.
Spicy meatball. Okay.
And the blast automatically works because it's a psyker power,
You
correct?
bake it into the difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said 5 advantage?
5, yes. But I'll use 2 of those immediately to take away my strain.
Okay.
And then I can fire the next 3 forward.
Unreal. All right.
So that would be 15 damage to all of the witches.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And is there any soak? Or sorry, is it pure? There wouldn't be pierce because it's psionic fire.
Different thing.
Okay. And
He has the ability to add pierce. This specifically does not have
And I'm
pierce.
sorry, how much?
15.
15. All right.
But it's 15 to 3 targets?
15 each.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Huge.
What does it look like?
I think Gideon is, like, as he's getting more comfortable and learning from Morgoth in the Black Library, I think it's much more calm than it was before. He's not, like, aggravating himself or, like, trying to Super Saiyan anymore. He's just letting this flow through him. So I think it's a much more, like, deliberate and gentle. It appears more gentle in him, and then just, like, white-hot warp fire just blasts out and erupts.
All 3 of them are incinerated.
Sick. Sick. Love it.
Hell yeah, Gideon.
So I think Gideon, like, you see a moment like that adrenaline and, like, something good happens, and then he remembers all this stuff about the warp, or sorry, not about the warp, about hope, about, like, trying not to get, like, so he's fighting with that, and then I think it also the irony of the fact that he kind of gave Valentyne shit for, like, policing his emotions so much, and now he has to do the same thing. So I think he has this weird moment of, like, internal conflict before he, like, shakes it off and, like, tries to see where Attikus is and head towards him.
Hell yeah. All right.
Incredible.
Hell of a round.
Wow.
Sick. There's a lot of fist pumping. Wait. No, never mind.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Okay. That brings us to Morgan.
Yep.
Speaking of things with weapons that obliterate existence.
Yep. I'm aiming down on the Venom bike that had turned
Venom
around
bike.
from the front and that's coming back into the shit.
Okay, so this is going to be, well, you've got it's a planetary scale weapon, so it's range band 3.
Yay!
Similar to Valentine's problem, I'm going to give you a setback for small target.
Sure.
You don't get the boost for bracing it anymore. You can still take your aim boost.
Okay.
You got your boy, Gideon.
I got a Gideon boost.
Yeah, Gideon boost.
And I got boost from Valentine,
Yep, and a
so I'm
boost from
using all
Valentine.
my boosts.
Correct. Good time to use them. Yeah, I'm gonna hoard my story points.
Okay. Then I'm just going to take it as is.
Yep.
And Morgan is just trying to get used to this gun. I think even in a little bit she's talking to it and she's like, "You work for the Emperor now."
Oh,
4 successes, 1 advantage.
nice.
A lance of black light just erupts from the barrel and just shears through this small vehicle. You see half of the driver split in either direction as the craft falls apart, and as the riders leap and just do that like grasping for things stuntman fall, but there's nothing to grab.
Yep. And then there's a come over to Valentine. "The large bike is down."
Oh, trade. And he'll just hand you your rifle, take the lance, and immediately start sighting back down it.
Yes.
Okay. Fuck. Okay.
Yay.
Cross another enemy off my sheet here. Okay, so jet bike goes down. That brings us to the bikers. Oh, not that one though. Wah, wah.
There's 4 left by my count.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are going to do a strafing run on Gideon and Attikus. The threats from the snipers are a problem, but if the witches get punched or lit up, it doesn't matter.
Game over.
Yeah, we're
snipers
also
can kill
a lot
one.
harder to spot if we're both
Yeah.
up
Well,
on a weird little
black-
balcony.
The
Oh, no, I
black-
mean,
yeah.
it's there, but still the idea of like a strafing run, you're like, open target on priority.
Well, and
or
also
They've
these
gotta
things
get
go
to
so
you.
fast that
Balcony
like
window,
jetting
yeah.
straight towards the window, the odds of them being able to bank in time after they fire at you
Yeah.
are low. So
And we have cover because we're on just like
Yeah.
a window.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
okie dokie. So yeah, drive by on, we'll say 2 on Attikus and 2 on Gideon.
This is a range then?
Yes.
I have defense 4 with my
Defense
shield
4. Okay.
and my armor.
Nice shield. Better than chalkboard.
Yeah, it's still a chalkboard on the interior.
He still wrote
Yeah,
it.
anything's a chalkboard if you write on it. All right. So let's do Attikus first. I'll do 2 of these. So for the first one, sorry, you said 3 defense?
4.
4. Wow.
It's been a while since I've had the shield at full defense. This is pre-Gray Bridge.
I had 1 advantage. Can I pass that as a setback to you? And I think it's just pieces of shrapnel are raining down from the bike.
Sure. Yeah. By that, they have to juke around
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
explosion.
they'd flying ducked on a venom crawler that blew up.
yeah, 100%.
Flying feed.
Okay.
Quack, quack.
Man, this isn't great. So I am going to spend a story point to upgrade one of these. It's hero time. Maybe.
Bike hero.
All right, got 2 yellow, 3 green, 2 purple, 5 black. 5. Triumph, 2 success, and an advantage.
Whoa,
Yo,
bike,
good for them,
Bike
you know?
maniac.
Yeah.
Was that on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's
thank
on me.
God.
You're up next.
Hide behind Attikus.
Keep that shit off me, says the psyker. Where's Attikus? I'll help him. You know what? I'm going to win that booth.
Oh no.
Okay, so Attikus, it's going to be 11 damage at Pierce 2.
Okay, so I have Soak 9, meaning I would normally take 2, but it's Pierce 2, so I take 4 damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Holy
And I'm
shit,
going to spend
Attikus, every
the
time.
Triumph to activate a crit.
Okay.
All right, I got the chart here.
Hell yeah.
Take
gotta
the
do that
dice.
You want the?
Or
Oh,
do the digital
I'll just get
dice.
you. Yeah, thank you. 76.
Overpowered. The target leaves themselves open, and the attacker may immediately attempt another attack against them as an incidental, using the exact same pool as the original attack.
Double straight.
What the fuck?
Make a note. You have a critical injury now, Attikus. That'll add 10 to any of your rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck.
What the
I
fuck?
gotta get.
So you open up from a distance and plug him so hard, despite his shield, that he's stuck still standing in the line of fire.
Okay. Rolling again. 2 failure, 3 threat.
That's what I expect out of a pool
That's
like
better.
that. What a rad outcome for them that first time.
First time was unreal. Yeah. All right. So we'll say that. Yeah, that's funny. So it comes running in, just like firing off the turret, hits you the first time, sees your recoil, and just like glory eyes, just like keeps firing.
Yeah.
Strafing, like laughing maniacally. But obviously Attikus just like ducks down out of the way and just continues to fire a straight line as this thing flies by. And I'm going to say that its incidental fire is blasting away chunks of permacrete above the witch who's hanging, so she can't climb up this round because there's like an idiot strafing above her maniacally. So that'll account for the threat. What a weird series of events on that one.
Yeah.
And then we have the other biker flying in at you as well. I'm not going to spend a story point on this one. You've got 4 defense from your thing, from your shield. I'm going to give them a boost for you being staggered. I think you're staggering back from being hit makes sense for that. So I got 1 yellow, 2 green, 1 blue, 2 purple, 4 black.
Mm-hmm.
2 success, 1 advantage.
Wow. Damn.
Good for them.
They're doing good.
So that is 10 points at Pierce 2, and I'll pass a set back on to the next person. Okay, and then the other bikes strafing Gideon. Gideon, what's your defense?
Defense 3.
Defense 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And he's wearing a cool mask, so it won't hurt his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's scary.
Face
It's
protected.
intimidating.
It's very intimidating.
The shine of the mask is like, what's that? All right, let's go. So
3 setback.
1 yellow, 2 green, 2 purple, 3 black. That is 1 threat.
Nice. Very
They
nice.
got
mask.
spooked
The
by
mask.
The mask glints.
Yeah.
They flinched.
So I'm gonna pass that forward to the next biker as
An additional setback.
as an additional setback. Yeah. So 2, 3 for defense, 1 for the glinting mask. God help us.
Yeah.
His head is whipping around.
I was going to say, Gideon thinks it's the mask. It's actually that they just watched him immolate 3 witches on the spot, but he's like, this mask would fool them.
It has protected me.
Okay. Second one gets 2 success and a threat.
Fuck.
These fucking assholes.
Aim for the glint.
No.
All right. So that
Aim for the glint.
so that is 10 damage at Pierce 2.
Hey, yo. 5 damage.
And I'll pass a boost forward.
So we got a boost and a setback going forward to whoever's next.
Yeah. As they kind of like do their attack runs over you. Okay, and then that brings us to the witches. So we've got burnt up witches, can't do anything. 1 is off a cliff, 1 has been shot, and 3 are trying to scrabble up and over the flipped car. So they're just going to spend their turn getting up and over that. I think it's fair to say that with 2 maneuvers, they can, reducing their action to a maneuver. They can't burn strain, so they have to do the double maneuver thing, or else they take wounds because they are rivals. So they don't have strain to spend, so can't do the double maneuver thing.
Good to know.
Yeah, you can spend strain if you don't have strain as wounds, which is cool, but also like they'll just climb over and die. So they'll spend their turn getting up and over that. The one who is off the ledge because of all the threat can't get up. So there's just 1 armed witch who's been shot by Valentyne facing down against you, Attikus. And she holds out her arm, and her gauntlet starts to grow crystalline spikes, and with a scream that, even though you can't understand what she's saying, is clearly like, for the jaded blade. She does one of those I was gonna say Brad Pitt and Troy jump stabs, but realistically it's also the Roman Reigns Superman punch. So just like jumps up in the air and tries to come down kind of in that soft spot between your neck and shoulder with her blade. So your close-up magic defense is 3.
Melee defense is 2.
2.
The shield is for ranged protection. Yeah.
Okay. And then passed forward a boost. So I'll leave that for your roll. I'm not going to put that on this one.
Okay.
So 2 because it's close combat.
Be your roll, actually.
So I have 1 yellow, 3 green, 2 purple, 2 black. I'm going to give her a boost for a death frenzy. Like she knows she's going down. So this is a spite attack more than anything else. I think that's it. Star points, anybody? Bueller?
We do a sit.
I'm good. Bring it.
1 success, 2 advantage.
All right.
So that is going to do 9 points of damage at Pierce 1.
Okay.
And I will activate a crit.
So you're adding 10 to your die result.
Yeah. So that is 54 plus 10 for 64. However, it is vicious 4.
So that'll add another 40.
So a total of 50, so 104.
Jesus.
104. Maimed. One of the target's limbs selected by the GM is permanently lost.
Holy.
Until the target has a
fuck.
cybernetic or prosthetic replacement, the target cannot perform actions that would require the use of that limb. All other actions gain 1 setback until this critical injury is healed.
All right.
Yeesh.
So she drives it into the soft flesh of your organic shoulder, and you feel her just crack the gauntlet off. So these vicious shards are buried deep in the flesh, sinew, and bone of your shoulder. And as you go to move your shield arm, it's just dead. It's dead weight. She's clearly pierced through kind of the nerve endings and everything else. And so your remaining fleshy arm falls limp.
So it's still attached to me, but it is.
I think
it
like
is dead weight.
Narratively, I think it's attached to you, but I mean it says
It says is permanently lost.
yeah. So it's dead. It's a dead arm.
Okay. Okay. I just thought cut, but okay.
All right, fine. We can do that. No, it's fine. So she drills the
Yeah, you have a brief moment of thinking it's attached, and then it just flops off.
She drills them in, cracks them off, and then just as she falls away, she pulls, and you realize that your arm was hanging on by bits. The shards inside kind of like shatter and explode, and with blinding pain, your arm and the shield fall away.
Okay.
She doesn't like run away with them or anything, just fall off, and she kind of points at the hole in her chest and then points at your arm.
I did like. Great. There's no showboating on Attikus's side of things. He just lost an arm.
She's a pit fighter. She's also, that's all she's got. All she's got is the razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
So Attikus loses an arm. Okay. Top of the round. Valentyne, you watch Attikus lose an arm. There are 4 jet bikers.
Yeah, this is deeply concerning. There are multiple jet bikers, and we're looking at 5 witches.
3 that just leapt over the wreckage. 1 that's hanging off the bridge, and the injured one who just took off.
But we just
arm.
watched one brutally devastate Attikus, which Valentyne has to assume is how effective witches are in general.
Correct. They're squishy when they're being shot at distance, but when they get into combat, they're not good.
Yeah. Valentyne would look to... Okay, this is just like a rules question, Del. With Toby here, and you focused on something else, if another character gives Toby verbal instruction, does Toby follow them, or do you have to do it with the mind impulse link if he's within range?
I'm thinking that she generally has.
I feel like Valentyne would have sorted
him.
this out in general.
Yeah, she generally has control of him, but I think a giving him a command would register in his information bank, which she'd probably be getting. So she would be able to just let it go and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Valentyne would look to Toby and say, Toby, bring Attikus here. Then, as the bird soars down to pick up the world's biggest, most faithful boy, Valentyne is going to turn the dark lance and sight up on the center of this bridge. He's going to hold his shot until Toby has a grip on Attikus because Gideon isn't on the bridge. And then Valentyne's whole plan is just blow up the center of this bridge because he doesn't give a shit about the bridge. He doesn't give a shit about the Ealdari, but Attikus is the center of all of his plans. No one else can punch all the things he needs punching the way an Attikus can punch.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't want to lose a saint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think
This is my fault. I gave a bad command for him.
Yeah, and I think as that is happening, since she can see where Toby is through Toby's vision until he gets far enough away, that then it'll be like, Gideon, run away from the bridge.
He sees Attikus get his arm and he like pales and then hears that and goes, oh.
Great. Okay. So, Valentyne, let's roll this attack.
Mhm.
And we're basically going to see how many hits it takes to blow the bridge.
Super.
So you're not a sniper, so I'm not going to give you the. This is a gunnery check.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you Morgan's benefit of being able to kind of carry over. A rifle's a rifle. This is like this thing's big and ugly for you. I'll give you a boost for shooting a fucking stationary giant slab of permacrete.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah.
Easy to hit. I think that's it, to be honest. And your range is 2.
Okay,
So,
range
2
is
purple.
2. I also pick up a boost and a setback for the various die rolls that have been going on, which I think is just the madness of this combat while he is focused. He is going to aim, and he is going to use 2 strain to get a second incidental 2.
I'm going to take away your aim because I would argue that sending Toby isn't a free action. I'm going to count that as your maneuver.
Okay.
So can you spend to get
I can
one
still
aim?
spend 2 strain to get 1
I'm sorry.
aim.
Yes.
I can't spend it for 2, but I can
I'm
do
sorry.
a second.
I thought you were using your free maneuver
No,
to
we're
do
counting
it.
that as a maneuver, and
Gotcha.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And also, to be clear with this roll, I'm not rolling to see whether or not you hit the bridge.
It's the
because
level of
you
damage done to the bridge.
Because you literally
Yeah.
can't miss a bridge with a cannon. But I just don't want anyone of us to have the visual of Valentyne like firing into the sky wildly.
I'm going to spend a story point.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Because Valentyne is going to handle this weapon the way he did the sniper rifle, which is he doesn't give a shit if he burns this thing out. This bridge has to go. So it's just maxing whatever fire rate he can, and he's going to take his shot. That is 5 successes and 1 advantage.
bridge go boom.
Damn.
With the Reapers still being like wedged between, you can hear the bridge mechanisms whining and cracking. And just opening fire into them, it's just like the mechanisms are already fucked, and you just sort of blast a hole through one of them, and you just see the whole structure slump. You hear screams from all the workers being like, "Oh shit!" And the ship that had crashed into the one side starts to like slide downward as the damaged structure under it begins to buckle and bend. And you basically realize like it's not so much that you punched a hole through the bridge. It's like you damaged the bridge enough that the other, like the ground side on the other side is cracking, crumbling, and coming through it. So the ship is going to fall forward through the bridge, take the whole thing out. So there's a lot of like panicked running. The jet bikes are too far away to loop back around and grab wyches with ease. I think Gideon, as you're running, and this again, Tom Cruise, this giant like thing is coming up and over. Of all people, the Slith comes zipping in on a bike, and just with one of his 4 arms grabs you just by like the collar, and hoists you onto the back of the bike. And because it's a gang bike, he's wearing he's Hannibal Lectered someone's face, just to cover the tattoo. So he's got like a poorly affixed drukhari face on, and he's wearing that like the helmet. So it's like big pointy helmet. He's obviously a Slith.
He has
but-
4
Who is he?
limbs.
But the sigil of importantly, the sigil is blocked, and he just yells, just like hisses to you with the gothic thing on, like, "Let's see your big-armed friend do that." He drives the bike away. And Toby swoops in, grabs Attikus. Attikus, you'll loop your foot through the shield just as you go.
the shield. Important.
And it just kind of like wraps around your leg as you're like struggling not to pass out.
The power
Bleeding,
fist is now actually just like reaching across his chest to like staunch the flow of blood. He's
Weirdly,
just closed it around his.
you discover that like you should be unconscious. You're not. The agony is incredible, but also like the bleeding is somewhat stemmed, and you get the feeling that those shards are meant to like maim. So it's better for the drukhari if you're awake and in pain than if you just pass out. So like there's some odd like not pain meds, but like there is some medicinal
There's an
shit.
anticoagulant in it so you don't bleed out.
Yeah, there's just like enough in there to keep you, and like likely some space cocaine just to like keep you awake while all of this is happening.
Okay.
But yeah, arm over that, Toby pulling away, and in the distance you can see like Reapers just like starting to come in with the sigil of Vect on them, just like. The local authorities are aware that shit is going down now.
Sure.
And starting to come in. Valentyne and Morgan, I feel like once he's up to you, you're able to like slip into the building.
That was it. It was like
Absolutely,
we're
pulling
slipping
away.
into the building and just it's just like immediate patch him up because I feel like between Attikus and Valentyne, again, this is more a narrative thing than any actual like the mechanical flavor, but just like patch that arm, sling the shield on his back, and then we are just going to, and I mean this as ruthlessly as possible, murder our way out of this building through every apartment that we need to. No mercy, no quarter. We need to get down to the ground floor and just fucking bail out.
Sure.
Yep.
If there were, Valentine's probably ballparking it, but like if 4 or 5 witches got away from this, that's actually a net gain. Because if you really want to embarrass your shitty bastard son, it's not, oh, his team didn't show up. It's, oh, his team is only 5 witches versus your 20 witches. Well, isn't this going to be embarrassing?
Interesting strategy, cop. Let's see how it works out for him. Yeah, I like that a lot. So,
And I think also we have Lizardman with us.
Yeah,
so
we
that
got
would be
L1.
Morgan would be like,
L1.
L1, do what you can for the Colonel, as we're running and shooting into things
Sure,
and running
sure.
down steps. And
so
Valentine will sling the dark lance if you've got your rifle out so that there's some weight being moved around.
let's get a psyker check for Gideon, a close combat check for Valentyne. And I think, Morgan, I don't know, would you be close range firing through any of this? I feel like a sniper in close quarters is bad. So, or would you just be like providing support fire with a pistol?
yeah, I think less than doing total damage. I think it's more covering fire.
Okay.
Like further down the line, and I think Morgan is more on. She has Toby vision. She's trying to cover fire. They are doing the moving, but I think she's doing more scouting ahead.
I see.
And behind kind of thing.
All right.
Rather than doing damage, I would say.
Attikus wants to fight. Attikus wants to help.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to say then. I need a resilience from Attikus to see if you're in it enough to do it. I'm going to say difficulty of 5. You lost an arm. No, I'm going to say difficulty 4 because you're full of space cocaine. So difficulty 4, and I'll give you a boost again for like the drukhari weird poison shit. You're probably tripping balls a bit in terms of like there's hallucinogens and other
Probably
shit
why
in
he
it.
thinks he can do this.
But yeah.
Well, it makes you want to keep fighting, and it makes the pain sharp as a fucking razor.
And in theory, they'd be injecting this into someone who doesn't have a power fist. So the keep fighting would be that like thing you see in gladiator movies where they're stumbling around swinging a sword kind of ineffectively. For you, that sword is a giant metal arm that can punch through walls. So again, not built for this particular kind of fight.
Okay.
Although they have killed Space Marines and other things in the arena, according to all the drukhari shit, which is weird. But here we are.
The weight would be all different.
It's just like a
one arm's
staggering
lumped down.
drunk, but just like when he slings, he slings. Okay, so that's fine check-wise for me. I don't think I'm going to add anything.
I'd like to spend a story point because this is
Attikus,
Attikus,
by
It's important.
it is important to him.
Have at it.
All right. 4 successes, 1 threat.
Okay, so take strain, and then you're good to participate in the fight.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to say that Morgan doing what Morgan is doing is going to give all of you a boost.
Okay.
So I need close combat checks from Valentyne and Attikus, and then a psyker check from Gideon.
Just like a standard psyker check.
Yeah, I'll see difficulty 2.
Sure.
I'm imagining difficulty 2 standard, defense nothing. I'm just fighting people in their apartments if we have to go through their apartment.
Let's say 1 defense for general cover of like people flipping tables and stuff.
Yeah, and they're not going out of their way to fight him, but yeah, they'd be prepared. It's also a drukhari building.
Yeah.
They're not like,
They're
invaders.
all
You're watching
nightmares.
TV.
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. I don't know. Understand why this witch fight is so delayed. Oh shit.
Can I ask for a boost for everyone on this roll because Attikus is not using doors, he's making doors?
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yep. I buy that. So Attikus wrecking ball boost.
Does that apply to me if I'm with the
Yeah.
Sylph? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Slith.
Sorry. He would have dipped into.
Yeah, you're here.
Dropped you off with us.
Okay. I thought I was still on the bike with him.
No,
I thought you were too, but
no, well, it's better.
he would have dropped you off and then ditched because he can't be seen anywhere near here, and that face mask is only going to last so long.
Yeah.
Drives away. It's like
There's
flapping
a snake under there.
As he picked
Flies
up
away.
Gideon, I'm sure he was like, "Thank you." Oh, gross. Ew, sick.
Yes, their features are disgusting. Hail Cobra lies. Flies away.
On a flying bike, too?
Yeah,
It's so perfectly Cobra.
yeah, totally.
Cobra.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
So I think we've got our approvals
Yeah, let's see what
for
happens.
Rock and
massacre
roll.
the building.
Valentyne got 4 successes.
Attikus has 2 successes, 4 advantage.
Oh, I got 5 successes, but 2 threat.
Okay, so
What's threat spend for psyker checks?
I
Is
think
that
you
different?
need 4 threat to do
2 perils of the warp.
Perils of
Okay,
the Warp, but
okay.
I gave Tom.
I was
the-
like, Tom
The
has some.
special
I
sheet.
have the power.
the secrets.
The secrets.
For 2 threat. No, none of these are good.
Yeah, nice sheet.
That's interesting. If the character is using a psychic implement, it becomes damaged 1 step. So we're not dealing with damage steps, but I think what I'm going to say is as you're...
So I keep forgetting I've got that the devotional icon which removes 2 threat.
So because you cast through your mask, you had to use the devotional icon.
I have to keep that shit on.
So-
I got to remember to like.
So you were, while we ran through the building, not spraying fire out of your hands. You were spraying fire out of your eyes through your devotional mask.
Now
shit.
this is. I got to make a point of this.
some
This is
Elden Ring shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some Cyclops shit.
This is a fucking Homelander over there just
Yeah.
massacring his way with warp
Yeah.
flame through a building.
Yeah, I'll also buy channeling through your hands through the fire. But yes, I like this just being like door opens and it's just full face like. But yeah,
Once again, I can't stress enough. No doors open. No doors are open.
Sorry, yes, understood.
Holes
So
everywhere.
with that amount of success, I think you are all very efficiently murder your way through this building. Again, like drukhari society is awful, so no one would be caught flat-footed here, but they also would be expecting drukhari shit, not a power sword, a power fist, and like psyker fire. Psyker fire in particular is something no one here is equipped for because psykers aren't. No house is going to send a psyker against you. That would be madness. So you murder your way through the building and kind of eventually make your way down out a back door into one of these suspended walkway alleyways. You make your way through a few of these, again, similar to kind of what you saw before. Only this time you're like, Gideon's face is on fire. Attikus is holding a severed limb with like manic, like battle drugged up eyes. Valentyne, you've got your like sword out and presumably pistol in other hand. You've got a dark lance over your back, and Morgan's like sighting things out of the rifle. People are giving you a wide berth.
Yeah,
they're
Valentyne. Not only are we heading eventually to the place that we want to meet Davros, there's a fight going on. Valentyne has a bookie that he apparently owes him a pretty significant debt. I mean,
Yeah.
technically Morgan, but we've got that and a dark lance to trade for a dude who's missing a fucking arm. So get cash, fix boy, go forward.
Great. Okay, so you make your way back to the bookie, who is listening to the fight on like a Vox. Of course, it's in drukhari, so like you don't understand, but you are hearing the equivalent of like, in all my years as a commentator, I have never seen something so disgraceful. My God, the power! Like it's just they're clearly getting massacred, and it's a shock because the Jaded Blade are much more highly regarded these days. So it's a huge upset. The bookie is having one of those snatch moments where he's just like kind of holding his hand up, his one arm up to his head.
Right, his one hand.
And he's got the pistol in it. You can see he's considering it as you kind of walk up. And he goes, oh, voice code like, oh, you're back.
It's a beckoning thorn and is doing well, aren't they?
It's a massacre. You bet wisely. I suppose you'll be wanting your thing back.
We want our thing and our winnings.
Very good. So he like snaps his fingers, and like a pair of like very tired looking Eldari come out, and they bring out oh my god, I forgot his name.
Nobody say it.
Jeffrey.
That was so rude.
Yeah.
It's our first Josh versus DM moment of this campaign.
That seat.
Laura's ghost haunted Josh for a brief moment.
So Jeffrey, he brings out Jeffrey and says, I do not know what you people use for currency, given that you bet this, and gestures to Jeffrey, he says, it would seem you are due a similar thing in recompense. So they like yells to his servants, and they bring out a powered down arcoflagellant. And they say, you can have this or something else. What do you want?
Do you know its command phrase?
Don't say it.
We've got a blank for you. We'll program one in.
This payment is acceptable.
Fine. I figure one big dented thing for another big dented thing. And this one screams in agony in its head all day, and so does mine. So enjoy.
Perfect.
And the Eldari comes over and says in like really, really broken Gothic, code word. I mean, technically Morgan made the bet, so technically this is.
Oh, it's possible.
You'll come to Morgan and be like,
Morgan is just Morgan. Eli Sharp.
Yeah.
Aw.
Valentyne is like, something that can now never be said.
Yeah.
And if said accidentally, will be tremendously deadly to us all. What a choice.
Eli Sharp. He says programming it in. I will say this arcoflagellant looks rough.
No. It's perfect. You can't make him worse now. We like him so much because he's very good.
You had a perfectly good Lizzo Lizardman, and you took away her voice. You had a perfectly good Arch Eldar, and you put him in a fucking shut-up stone. You're getting a shitty arcoflagellant.
That's reasonable.
It looks rough because obviously it like
It's one that's captured.
powered down and was like repaired enough to have a blank thing.
And this was in kind, right? Like banged up Jeffrey for
100%.
banged up. Yeah.
So, and again, to him, he's just like, well, this is a tortured brain and this is a tortured brain. So basically you can consider this a one combat arcoflagellant. You can unleash this thing once and it'll burn its wick down. Once wick is done, it's down and out.
Perfect. Valentyne will ask, because the need for ruses has been rapidly dwindling. Where is the most talented flesh crafter in this area? We require their assistance.
He looks at his arm, looks at his legs, and said, if I had that kind of influence, do you think I'd be sitting here?
Who is the most talented flesh crafter in this area who did not deign to show you their attentions?
Well, points down the alley. There are better ones in High Camera, but for Xenos such as yourselves, they won't work for you.
I'll take the one down the alley. Thank you.
So you make your way down the alley, and there's a small, like, looks like a used electronics store from the outside, except instead of like a bunch of like old CD players and shit in the window, it's like limbs. Just what's the plan? Just booting the door?
This is going in to find out about pricing, and then negotiations, the varying hostility depending on how this guy seems.
So you open the door and make your way in, and a woman drifts out from behind the counter, and for a moment, Valentyne, you fear that you've stumbled into the den of a homunculus because she's got like the big gimbaled arms, the needles and shit. But then you see that she's she stumbles a little bit, and a lot of it shifts around, and you can see that she's installed some of it, but also she's basically wearing the equivalent of a homunculus like backpack. And it's just kind of like, fear me, for I craft the flesh. You dare enter my lair?
I do dare enter, and I do not fear you. I require medical attention for my companion. He requires a replacement limb. I need something that would be acceptable to Imperial standards, if not better. Payment will be excellent.
What can you offer the homunculus?
What can you offer us for my companion?
A cool robot arm. What can you offer me?
Show me the arm.
Stumbles over like she stops. Yeah, she just finally stops and says, "Is this not? You're not buying this?
I could not care less."
Fuck! And just takes it off and just says, humans usually fall for that. It raises my rates considerably. All right, come here. Like looks at the arm and is like, oh, you've been struck by a Hydra gauntlet. That's bad, but at least they seem to have. This is. Did you tangle with the jaded blade? This looks like they're bullshit.
Attikus thinking about like the cover, like, no.
Yeah, all right. Well. So I think what I need is from Valentyne.
Caught myself shaving.
Probably a coercion or negotiation, but I need some roll to determine.
I think it's. I mean, he hasn't really offered anything to negotiate. He will negotiate price, but he brought a large number of armed people into this shop with someone who's like, is my costume spooky? So I think innately it's coercion.
And we have the arcoflagellant, too.
Lingering by. For those of us who forget what an arcoflagellant is it just kind of what it sounds like?
It's an Adeptus Ministorum monster/punishment. For people who are deemed to be grand heretics who need to be redeemed, they cut off their hands and replace them either with chain blades or electroflails. They fill their entire spine with a bunch of different pumps and other things. They supercharge their skeletons, and then they put a pacifier helm on them. So they have a thing that is passively praying to them, so they can't keep track of their own thoughts until a trigger word is said, at which point their spine pumps them full of all the combat drugs. They go absolutely fucking psychotic and kill everything in front of them until they die.
So what it sounds like.
It's very simple.
Tomato to arcoflagellant.
Yeah.
All right, what's the difficulty?
Difficulty 3. Okay. You guys don't really have any money, and you don't know, you can't bargain souls or anything on this planet. Difficulty 3, I'll give you a boost for the.
We got Jeffrey. We'll cash him in again.
He's good currency, baby.
Yeah, I'll give you a boost for just like 4 of you busted into this room, and she couldn't fool you with her nonsense. So
You're covered in blood.
Yeah. You all look scary. And again, you can tell she's like the Dr. Nick Riviera of flesh crafters, where she's not. This isn't top of the heap, so the threat is vile. That's I think what I'll give you.
Cool. I would pitch. We're hardcore, and I mean, you can say no to this, but if she recognized that as coming from the cult of the Jaded Blade, and she's heard on the radio they all just died.
All right, yeah, I'd buy that. Everyone's listening to the fight, so yeah,
Might be
that makes sense.
next.
Yeah. All right, let's see what happens. 1 triumph, 2 success, 2 threat.
Hey. Wow. Hey. Fix it.
Okay. Yeah, she takes a mechanical arm, and again, these do similar to the golden arm you had, kind of like briefly on Greybridge. These are better than Imperial spec'd stuff, just because they have a better understanding of technology. I'm sure that's offensive to Attikus.
Yeah, Attikus, I think, is just like looking to.
Oh.
It's like, is this okay?
Yeah, looks pleadingly at Valentyne. So she'll just kind of like, this one is a bit of a hack job to install. So it goes in. I'll say it's a 3-fingered hand, so kind of like thumb and then two grasping fingers. The hinge on the elbow is reversible.
Okay.
And sort of multi-socketed. So it gives you a bit more range of stuff.
I've got a pitch for all of the above if we want to roll it together.
Sure, yeah.
For the triumph, I would say this was clearly taken from someone from the Imperium, so there are still Aquila carved on it, so it won't cause him any problems, A, in his psyche, but also in future if he's walking around, nobody's like, some drukhari shit?
Yeah, fair.
He's got it. It's good. It heals the critical stuff, but for the threat and in a bit of exchange for that, we have to trade the Dark Lance as the price.
Okay. Yep. I'll buy that.
So Dark Lance gone, Attikus healed, a robot arm, non-heretical.
Great.
The installation innately heretical because an alien did it, but
Yeah.
We'll overlook it.
yeah. Inquisition. This is legal.
Gideon's taking notes. But that okay.
All right, so Attikus, you flex the new arm. I'll take back my Xenosi thing. It's got a bit more of the Imperium like jankiness to it, which is a comfort. You slide your new shield on and see like the Aquila on it. There's like an old ratty purity seal hanging from it. And she says, "This was taken from one who fell in the arena. Sounds like you can maybe make better use of it than they did."
Yeah, he's like running his power fist arm like along like the inside of this thing with like the what did you call that? The ratty
Purity seal.
Purity seal.
Yeah.
The purity seal, and seeing that it's of Imperial make, he'll just like it's perfect.
Great. And she like takes the Dark Lance. It's like, okie dokie. Just stuffs it under a table. She says, "I would appreciate it if you would spread the word of my excellent work to anyone who needs flesh crafting. Just fear the local homunculi. That's the name of the shop."
The local homunculi.
That's right. I'm trying to. I will never be one of the homunculi, but I think perhaps I can trick some idiots into thinking I am one.
Considering we just eliminated the cult of the Jaded Blade and now have considerable, shall we say, clout with the Archon of the Bloody Sand, who we are going to meet, I would be happy to spread word of you. However, it feels like there should be an exchange for that. Do you have any, shall we say, weapons that have been abandoned by humans who died in the arena? Perhaps from any of faith?
Right.
Well, they weren't very good, but I suppose. And she like goes in the back, and she comes out. I've never known the name for these fucking things. You see the chaplains of the Space Marines carry them a lot, but it's basically a metallic rod with like eagle wings on the top and a skull.
Crozius Arcanum.
That's the one. And it's ratty and kind of like rusted. And she's like, there was I believe you call them chaplains, is one of the ones that fought in the arena. He lasted for weeks before being worn down, but he used to swing this thing around yelling the name of your emperor. So maybe this? It doesn't do anything. She's like,
Valentine,
it doesn't do anything.
Valentine does not even, she has ceased to exist the moment this appeared, because this is a Space Marine relic. There is one of these per chapter.
Wow.
Of 1,000 Space Marines, the most devout gets to hold that and use it in battle. And when you charge it up, it is a holy power weapon imbued with the intentions, violence, and capability of an entire chapter of Space Marines, plus the religious purity of borderline the Emperor himself. And he just says, yes, that'll be fine. Thank you.
So do you want me to put a sharp edge on it or something?
No, it's perfect. Don't touch it anymore. Thank you. And it's just out of the hands, and he's just holding it just so carefully. We'll put in that good word.
Thanks.
Yes.
She like reaches back and gives you like a bag of bullets and is like, I feel like you need more for this, but here you go. You can have these too. I feel badly about our
Thank you.
exchange.
Morgan?
Carrying bullets,
over.
yes, a bag of
And
bullets.
Valentine is going to hook this Crozius Arcanum at his waist, so it dangles down and hangs on his belt.
And she's like, what a bunch of fucking morons.
And he's outside going, what a fucking moron, as they leave. But Valentine, this is like a sign, big S sign. And he can't believe it as they're walking out of the store. And he says, Morgan, do you realize what this means?
What does it mean?
Morgan, I assumed that Attikus's injury meant that perhaps he was not a saint, that perhaps he was immortal. And yet we achieved our mission, and through his injury and where it led us, we've discovered this.
Oh, you're right. Without that, we would not have gone there.
This is a Crozius Arcanum. Morgan, do you know what this is?
No.
This is the holiest symbol carried by a chaplain of a chapter of Space Marines. 1,000 Space Marines, and the holiest bore this, one who fought the drukhari for weeks in the field.
An Astartes relic.
A religious Astartes relic, a holy icon that would be the cause of, conservatively, a war with an entire chapter of Space Marines and the unholy enemy if it had switched hands.
And we found it here in our time of need.
From a drukhari who was confused about their costume and seemed incompetent. They had this. They healed the saint.
Praise the Emperor.
Praise the Emperor, indeed. He would have made sure Attikus did not hear that. And then he'd turn to them and say, on we go. We may be taking a bit of a sidestep on Mars for a moment. After you, gentlemen. He's just walking behind Attikus, staring at him, wide robot-eyed.
And the four of you, plus your new robot companion and old robot companion returned, sort of make your way down this alleyway, oblivious to the scowling reflection of Pandora in the windows as you pass.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features the voices of players Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, Josh Halbot, and Del Borovic, alongside Game Master Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Dragonfly, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Beef Not Cheese, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Adam, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, Adam Mir 101, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.